such a journey to get it to this point, and now to get a game plan together and figure out where we're going from here.
On today's episode of At Home with GKR Motorcars, the guys treat your eyes to the final result of the Porsche Green. And I'm wiping the drool off my face because, wow, does it look fantastic. Next, we're bringing in the man, the myth, the legend behind the interior design on the Fairlane and the Porsche. It's all coming together quite nicely if I don't say so myself. After that, we get right into the other inner workings over in Fairlane interior land, and finally, we're bringing you back to the Porsche with some tasty details on the engine installation and game plan. You don't want to miss a second of the action, so take a seat, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
All right, another green car. You know, I'm happy. You know, we've talked about this color before. It's a newer Porsche color. Porsche actually had two different oak green metallics. One, I think, around this generation, either this generation or the 80s. But this is the new one, so this is what you'd see on a dream car of mine if I got a brand new GT3 RS. That's how I would order one. But it's an amazing color. You know, it's dark, but it's not dark like the Camaro was. The Camaro, I mean, it almost looked black in some lights, you know, I mean, and even before the clear was on it, people came in before we put the clear on, and they thought it was black. But it was green, and you can see the green in it if you kind of really look. But this is green. You see the green. I'm sure you see the green. And I love it. It's got the perfect balance of pearl and green and darkness. You know, bright greens, lime greens, that kind of stuff goes on more of like your exotic cars, I think. I don't mind those greens on those cars, but you don't want to do anything like that on these. It came out really well. You know, there's a couple spots here and there, but it's really balanced with just this Targa. And when we start getting some of these contrasts in here, I'm really kind of excited to see that. Which the trim, we're going to do another thing similar to the Camaro, and bring in some not powder coated but Cerakoted trim pieces, and that'll look pretty good. We're going to do like a darker gray, almost black, but closer to, like, you can tell it's kind of gray. And then of course, you know, the roll bar back here on these Targas, we went with like a satin black back here for more contrast, and with tinted windows on this and the black Targa top, I think it'll look really nice up here. All together, you know, it probably looks a little awkward without windshield and rear glass and the quarter windows up front, but you know, it's got this black right here. You know, it gets dust in a day. It's dusty.
Shows everything.
But it's actually a clear that goes over the black, and the way you mix it, that clear, it brings either super matte, flat, all the way to like a semi-gloss satin. We went with that. Now, for the owner, you know, he's gonna have to do a little extra, different care for this, because this isn't something you can cut and buff. This isn't something you can paint correct like you could with a clear coat on like the main part of the car. But I think it's worth it. I mean, what do you think about this black?
Nice contrast.
I mean, it was a lot to get right, because you know, you can't cut and buff it, so you've really got to get your gun kind of like perfect with it, which, you know, this guy over here did a pretty good job on here. And I'm very proud of him for how well he did on this one. Yeah, I mean, what do you think of this? How do you think it came out? Pretty well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm super excited to see how it, comes out. We'll do a quick buff and everything once it's all done. We get all the assembly knocked out. Get that fresh engine we've got sitting over there put in, and
Yeah, start coming together. I mean, we are on the final assembly side. Sometimes they seem like they're over there in the body shop paint side forever. But really, that's where a lot of time on these kind of builds go, is in the body work. And this one started out pretty well. I mean, you've seen in some previous episodes or reels that it really wasn't that bad. There was a lot of bubbling, so we think whoever painted this, because it had an aftermarket paint on it before, and didn't quite prep it right. And a lot of kind of moisture came up through the paint. We fixed all that, and it really does just, man, I'm ready to get going on it. And we're actually gonna have to go get back to work now, because got a lot of interior stuff to kind of start inventorying and seeing what we need to get for the interior, as much as we want to get this thing on the outside where it needs to be. But you'll just have to watch later and see where it is on a future episode once we get some of that trim going on here. So keep watching. Sorry. Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I like my interior. Is this the Fairlane?
Yeah, man. Got you the Fairlane seats. Got you most of that, but I also got you a little surprise here. I decided to bring those Porsche seats we got wrapped up recently.
The Porsche as well?
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see those in person.
Yeah. I'll show them off to you here in a little bit. Got to get them unpacked though.
Hell yeah. Check them out.
Hi, my name's Justin. I work at Noble Needle Upholstery in Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm out here today at GKR Motor Cars, dropping off some interiors that we're working on. We got a couple different projects that we do. We're helping them with their custom projects. One of them is the Fairlane here. We helped finish up the seats and get some things going, and we're going to look at some next steps in it.
All right, so you did not do these seats, this specific seat right here.
No.
So I think what's even more impressive is that we had some seats done, kind of got started with the custom process, and they weren't able to get them completely done. So we had some done seats and non-done seats, and Justin came in and was able to match the work that had been done to the rear seat here that was not done. And like I said, I mean, I think that's the most impressive part, is that he was able to match somebody else's work and make it look like it's done by one person. So kudos, Justin. I'm pretty excited about that. Was kind of stressed out about that when we got the seats and they were half done. So it's very nice to be able to have your skills to come in and kind of just pick up where somebody else left off and finish it out. But yeah, you can't take credit for all of it, so I'm not going to let him have credit for all of it. But on the Fairlane, you'll see we're getting back into it, getting the interior done now that we have the seats. We do need to talk about the rear
Package tray.
Okay. And then installing that headliner, because it's kind of a weird headliner. And then I also got a piece out of a junkyard that I pulled, a piece on the B pillar there. We'll look at it later, kind of get that figured out. So, but Porsche, and all the many pieces that are random. So many random pieces of interior on this Porsche. So let's go take a look at it.
Let's go take a look at that.
All right, so Justin and I have talked about a few things. As you can see, the seats are done, which was a nice pleasant surprise when he showed up today, because I did not know they were done. But it kind of gives us an idea, you an idea, these color contrasts that I just love so much, with seeing the interior through a window with the exterior color. I mean, that's always, like I've said it 100 times probably, between all of our content, that one of my favorite views is looking in from the corner of a car, seeing the green, seeing the brown interior, and seeing how it all kind of comes together. And then when the steering wheel's in there with another contrast, the view just continues to get better from here now that we've got final goods going in. But there's lots of little pieces, here and there. The carpet set's a carpet set. Justin didn't do anything with that. It's going to be black, kind of a contrast. But as you can see here, his idea put a black, what exactly is that?
Welt cord.
Welt cord, yes. I don't know all the exact words and all this stuff, so. But put that black on there, so it's gonna pick up some of the blacks that we have. But something I forgot to tell you about is the dash pad. And we're not using this one, as you can see, but this gives you an idea of all the contours on it. The new one will have these same exact contours. And this had some kind of coverage over it. It looks like it's that vacuum stuff, but are we gonna be able to put that kind of color over this on the top and essentially wrap a new one to where it clips right down in there?
Yeah, we should be able to get either that color custom made, a custom made panel for that in this color here, or we can find something that's maybe a little more wrappable that might be a slightly contrasted, but we could definitely accommodate that.
Yeah, because there's an accent line across the bottom of this dash that you can't see even if you saw some B-roll. That's also going to get that. So the bottom, which you've got two of the pieces, you said, yeah, you can wrap those. I've got another piece over here I missed giving you last time. But then this on the top will be that chocolate top and bottom, and the center will just be, your normal black. The gauges have black around them, but we'll have that contrast in there. And then of course the door panels. I think there's some random parts here and there that kind of pick up this chocolate. But it's just gonna be a mix of black and chocolate through here. And I'm really excited. I'm glad you had good news on this, because we ordered a black one, but I was really wanting to go with the chocolate up top as well to kind of bring that whole dash together. And it kind of sounds like Justin might be able to do that.
I'm sure we can make it happen.
Hell yeah. That look good? Cool. All right, so we were really hoping after you saw this in season 1 that the first time you saw this again in season 2 would be a reveal, but we kind of came to a very hard kind of roadblock stop that caused some delays. We were waiting on some interior to come in. It took a little bit longer than expected for the interior. And we were trying to find some windows. Luckily, we were able to find some windows out of some old ones, some old 62, 63, 64. I can't remember the exact years, but there's a local place that has all these old cars, and one day I'd love to take you guys out there, but I don't know what he thinks about cameras being on a big scene like this, episode would be on. And, but maybe I'd love to take you out there. But no matter the fact, we have glass, front and rear. We just put the rear in. We have interior. We're gonna start putting headliner in, the trim pieces. We've accounted for everything. These really old, like early 60s and before, I mean, these interiors are not, like the Camaro and the Bandit were very basic, that's a late 60s and then a 77 Bandit. They made a lot more sense. They had pillar covers, and these use like a windlace to make the edge look right, and we're gonna kind of change it up a little bit from what was factory, just because the windlace is kind of this big, gaudy, like little strip that kind of goes through there and doesn't look super cool, if that's what we want to call it. But so there's a few things. There's a little extra work, meticulousness on this to really make all of the pieces of A, B, and C pillar, headliner, and then your seats and your rear package tray and all that stuff to come together without any weird transitions between the two different things. Luckily that rear window rubber is new, so we'll be able to tuck stuff underneath it. So all that stuff will look good back there. We did already find that the carpet, which a lot of this stuff is just kind of custom made because they don't make stuff for a 62 Fairlane. But something we did find that was for this car was the carpet, and it still was wrong, right?
Just a bit short, yeah.
We've got like a little triangle in the back seat. The back seat sits in. You can see the kind of sound deadening, the sound deadening mat back there. You can see just about a little, inch or two of it. So we're gonna have to figure out something there. maybe sew it together and make it look, you know, like there's not a seam, but it's still a small piece, so hopefully it won't look that bad. Well, it won't look bad, I'll guarantee you that. Yeah, interior, windows, that really was the last thing. I mean, you had the motor running pretty well, right?
Yeah, I'm just happy you found a wiper motor. I'm not gonna lie. That was something we looked for
The wiper
a lot
motor.
and could not
Thank
find
you for
anywhere.
reminding me. So the wiper motor, we'll show it to you. We found that, and I was just gonna rebuild it, you know, in a junkyard for who knows how long. We pulled it off, and it, you know, looked like it'd been in a junkyard for a long time. And when I cleaned it up, it had a stamp on there that said 1963. So I opened it up. You know, I was gonna repaint the casing, clean it up, make it look good, and then rebuild the inside of it. And I opened it up, and I was like, wow, this looks like brand new. I mean, I even think, I told you and Tyler, I came and found you guys, like, look at this looks like brand new. It came out of the junkyard. So I was like, you know, let me just try it. Hooked it up, tested it, flawless. Yeah, so. And there was like some weird bracketing that is only on this car and maybe some other cars, but it's nothing you find on a Mustang or a, whoa, what are the other big Fords? I'm not a Ford guy, really. I mean, we build Fords, but.
Mavericks, all them.
Yeah, some of the stuff you see more of is not on those. Same with the wiper motor itself. And this weird bracketing, a front bracket and a rear bracket that kind of seals that hole where the wiper motor is. We got that bracket too, and the pigtail, because it's a one-off pigtail as well. So I mean.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, we really lucked out there. I was actually kind of excited to rebuild it because, I don't know, it's kind of something nice to take an old part like that and make it what it is, make it brand new, because you have to make it, you have to build it yourself. You can't buy it off the shelf. But I'll take the wins every once in a while, the easy outs, that it was right. So really, those were kind of the last few items that we were kind of waiting on. I mean, the wiper motor we could have got by with just without wipers for a bit. You know, luckily it's a local customer. We could have just kept it on eBay, but I got lucky there. Transmission still needs a little bit of pressure tuning, I think.
Yeah, for the.
And we haven't actually taken. I mean, it's been running and driving in and out here, but we actually haven't taken it on the road yet. So
Yeah, still got a little fine tuning to do. I got to check fluids for the rear diff. I don't think they're in there
yep,
yet.
all the normal stuff. But I'm really excited. It runs great. I mean, this is probably one of the best initial startups we've had outside of LSs, because they're just they're just way too easy. But for this, and it's been better than some LSs we've started up for the first time. But yeah, I think the next time you see this now, will be a reveal.
That'd be nice.
It's on him.
Been a long time coming, so.
I'll push him. I'll get it. We'll have it at the end of this season, I bet. No, I know. It's a guarantee. All right, so we are underneath the Porsche project here. I mean, it says Porsche here, so maybe that was a dead giveaway. But we're starting to figure out how this new motor is going to fit in. And I don't remember how much we've talked about it on here in previous episodes, but this is a 79 911 SC that came with the 3.0, and it had essentially like a fuel injection setup, like a Marvin mechanical, which just kind of ran off of, you know, I think some relays and some other random things to get fuel to it, and it was more mechanical. Now, what a lot of guys do to get more power without going too crazy on just monster builds or LS swaps or whatever, is they put the 3.2 in there. The 3.2 was actually what was in the 84 to 89 models. It had electronic fuel injection. We have an ECU here. And you know, with these Porsches, I don't even know how to explain it. You know, we're used to American, where stuff is just done a certain way across all the different American cars that we work on. But they do it a different way in Germany, as you can probably imagine. But it's almost like it's more simpler. It's almost like if we knew German stuff, and that's what we did, and then we went to work on an American car, we'd be like, why is this so, why are they making this so confusing? I'm not gonna get into British cars because we have the Lotus, and I'm very glad we converted that to electric. But it was both new and confusing and redundant systems, and just sorry Lotus, sorry British manufacturers, because we had the Range Rover as well. But it's simple, and luckily they made it simple because there's only a few wires we actually have to change on the plug, which is a different plug. Can't get it in the shot here, but that plugs into the factory kind of monitoring system that kind of runs the gauges and plugs into the chassis harness and all that. And then really, you run this wire further up to the front where the fuse panel is. And it's really not that bad. And it's just switching some plugs out and some wires, and it's really not that bad. The fuel system's the same. Because this is electronic fuel injection and the way the pressures work, you don't need that as intricate of a fuel system to prevent vapor lock, because it provides enough pressure to where you just need a filter. So it's kind of nice that Porsche made this pretty simple, but there's some physical things we got to do, and one of them is finding a spot to put a hole in the bulkhead, which is of course in the back on a Porsche, to get this part of the wiring up into the cab, and then this part of the wiring up into the front where the fuse box is. So if I take the confusing wiring stuff and I say, hey, I'll take all the electrical, will you figure out the physical?
I usually do.
Deal.